Start that baby up.
Well, welcome to another episode of Closing Staff Podcast. This is actually going to be a bonus episode.
Bonus.
Might be a little early for us, but you know we are essentially gamers.
So working
we like to talk
overtime.
about,
Getting some overtime.
Exactly.
It's a closing staff working on Christmas Day for y'all.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
basically what's happening.
Hey,
right
we're even if we were former GameStop employees, we're still gamers. So we like to talk about games every so often.
Oh yeah, games are hard, man.
But before we get into it, we're going to talk about a few recent news regarding GameStop.
Wait, but who are we though?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
You have to.
I'm Trade
You
Hold.
have to give us an
I'm
intro
Distro.
here. Cash wrap here.
All right, there you go. All right, let's practice that once again. I'm Trade Hold.
Distro.
And cash wrap.
I felt a little hesitation there.
Yeah, people are worried about cash trap. They're thinking I'm going to lose my mind and start outing everybody, but I haven't quite got there yet. So
You see, this episode's like one of those secret Mario levels you don't know about until you played the game like a bunch.
Yeah,
you know.
This is basically you jumping outside of the level, clipping through the wall.
Yeah, clipping through the wall and
going
just
straight
running
to
up, and there's coins up there for some reason.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
Well, let's see. What's some of the recent news? Like the Power Up Rewards, where they're getting away, or they're taking away the 10% off of pre-owned games.
GameStop is going through quite a bit right now.
Well, they're always changing things. So
Quite a bit.
There's been a lot of rumors about how they might shut down, and
well, those have been going on for a while.
oh yeah, they've known it more so lately. I wouldn't say within this past year, but it's actually been about maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
A lot because of CEOs stepping down.
Well, I think the latest thing is they can't find a buyer, right?
Yes.
That's probably the latest.
Well, the latest news was that they, I think, rejected
rejected
some offers because they were like, it's not enough.
Right.
So,
yeah.
but at the moment they're still going.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. The main thing too is like they got a new CEO, right? Essentially, finally, like a legit CEO. Because for a minute there, they were kind of CEO-less for
They were
time.
without a CEO, and then the CFO just stepped down too. That actually was recent news.
Yeah, the CFO
After 9 years,
See
right?
this gentleman's name, Rob Lloyd. Yeah, he stepped down as CFO. So it makes me wonder. It's like, why are these people just dropping like flies? You know, especially first the company is going for selling. Then you have all these different rumors about like no one wants to buy the company.
Yeah.
You know, it really makes you wonder like exactly what's going on internally. You know.
Yeah, I've been saying for a bit that I think they will get bought out, but maybe hopefully rebranded, because honestly that's just one of the things. Just people don't even give GameStop a chance nowadays.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They just hear it and they just no.
It's
but
just,
to be honest, they have a few good deals going on, like semi often.
Yeah.
So it's just people are very ignorant to what it is, because it's GameStop. It's like, oh, I don't want to do anything to do with GameStop.
Yeah, it's true.
But
as long as the deal's still coming, though.
Yeah.
They're still coming down.
Some of those deals are pretty good. Like, I know one of the biggest grievances that customers talk about is the trade-in values. Trade-in values make sense for the most part, because they're like, oh, you only get $30 back for a $60 game. GameStop makes their money off of pre-owned things.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies do not make money off of new things. There's usually like a 10%, if not less, margin for profit with new.
I think we might have talked about a little bit about that.
Yeah, we probably have talked about it before. So, yeah, obviously the trade-in value is always not going to be as good.
Yeah.
But they do some good promos with trades.
Although that 10%'s gone now. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, yeah, like,
so it's a.
I feel like that's a gut punch right there too,
it is,
especially for the people trying to sell these cards and like these Power Up Rewards memberships.
Yeah,
because my main clutch thing was kind of going through the, hey, you know what? If you save money on this pre-owned game, you're saving money on your purchase right now. You know, get your savings in the future. But now it's kind of like, what are you saving?
Right.
Like, what am I really getting on my investment right away?
So what was the whole rundown? They're swapping that out for what now?
You're getting a $5 gift certificate
guaranteed
every month,
okay.
But there's no rollover, so you have to spend it that month.
You see, and that's in beta right now, right?
It is in beta in some states already. Yes.
You see, if that doesn't roll over, it's kind of like, you know.
I mean, I can see that being useful for some people because the thing about the 10% deal is that if you buy 10 games a year, or even maybe like 6 games a year, that you're already making your money's worth for you yearly.
So My question is that a $5 credit for new and pre-owned, just like credit in
I
general?
think it's...
Or is it like only like a new... Because you know how you have the Power Up Rewards coupons that are separated by pre-owned items
and
or new
yeah.
items?
I think...
Is it just a reward? Like just $5, you know?
I think it's just $5 in general. So that's why I think that's why it will be all right.
Because what I was saying is like at
the
that
most
point,
part.
you're really just taking the tax off a new game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You're paying for the tax on new games.
Well, maybe in our state, but in other states
you know?
with a different tax.
It's
but,
like $5. Just usually how much extra they throw on there, you know?
Yeah. And so I would say it's not too bad, but for people who shop more often, it probably is not as much saving.
It's not as much.
Yeah, because then you think about it too, like with the 10% off, wasn't it like a pre-owned game? Let's say it was $55, give or take. You know, you would put it at like $50, right?
$50.
So it's really them just basically rebranding their same deal, but like as something else, right?
Yeah,
but there's no. Yeah, the thing is, there's no rollover. So if there's nothing.
There's no rollover.
I mean, it's the idea. I assume is to get someone to come in and shop every month at least once.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be nice and all, but...
Well, you know what's interesting, too, is you make a good point, Distro. In that, if you're buying, singular games every visit, like what you said, Trade Hold, a game a month, at the end of the year, you're at, what, $50 saved or whatever, if you're buying one game a month. $5 coupon, you're pretty much there anyways.
Yeah.
But if you're buying multiple things, you buy 2 games at $50 each, pre-owned, you just save $10 on that purchase right there because of your 10% off. So it's almost like they're discouraging like a high ADS or UPT.
Yeah, right.
Almost,
I feel like the idea is to draw in more new customers.
Yeah, I think that's the whole idea is like, because their main gripe right now was like, oh, why are you pushing pre-owned so hard on me,
Right.
They kind of want to rebrand the deal as like, you can use it as for new too as well.
You can use it for new also.
It's your new deal,
Exactly.
Like,
But on the back end, we're also going to cap you on your savings for that year.
Exactly.
I mean, realistically, literally, you're not going to be able to save any more than 5 times 12. Really, there's no way to get any more than that. Whereas the 10% off, the ceiling was unlimited, just based on how.
Say you're buying a pre-owned console with the pre-owned set of games, you get your controller, you get like your memory in there, like everything.
You can save a bunch in 1 year, whereas. Now in a year, your max savings
like
is $60.
You're saving one game.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to save any more.
And then it's a $5 more for the year, which and honestly, in the past I've been a little frugal about that, especially before I worked at GameStop. But $15 to $20 a year is not that bad.
Yeah,
but guys, we're forgetting the most important thing. You get the magazine.
Yeah,
you do get the magazine though.
You do get the magazine,
but you get the magazine.
I mean, I actually think Game Informer is still relevant. They've been on and off just like GameStop is. What they talk about and all that.
I'll be honest, Game Informer for me, it hits maybe 1 out of every 5.
I agree.
Maybe like 1 out of every 5. There's 5 of them. There 4 of them I can just throw away, but then there's that one issue where I'm like, oh, you know what? Like I'm actually reading this,
Yeah, I know.
And here's a sales tip for you guys still working there. If you want to sell the pro cards,
it's episode.
Well, still, I was just saying
trade secrets here.
I mean, it's not really a trade secret. I was just gonna say that the tip is that usually, because I know sometimes they're giving out for free, but usually these magazines sell for $6 a piece, right?
I believe it was $14.99. I thought it was the whole thing that was $15 per magazine.
$15 per magazine?
Yeah, but you pay that
one like
for
10
one
and
magazine.
15,
you pay for that one magazine and you get 12 of them for free.
Yeah,
that was the whole set.
Yeah, because we're basically not selling the membership.
Well, I mean, that was
the magazine.
Yeah, we're selling the one copy.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was like 6 because I mean it might have been 15 at one point, but I think there was a point where they lowered it to 6. I could be wrong. But that's a tip for you guys. If you want to, talk about pro memberships and saving, money, but you also talk about the magazine, even if it's like, maybe only 2 out of the whole year that you like, that's $30, right? So there you go.
Yep. And this has been Trade Secrets with Trade Hold. We'll be back next week with some more for you.
It's just a tip. That's what she said. Anyways.
Just the tip with Trade Hold.
Yeah.
Appearing weekly.
But other than that, I guess it's a new take on the pro membership, but I don't know. I don't like it as much.
I'd like to think of what people working now think of it. You know, because I know if I was an employee hearing about that stuff too, like it's kind of like you're crippling me even more.
Well, that changes everything for
you. You're pretty much just like you're
Yeah.
taking away a lot more of like our way of selling, you know?
Yeah.
Our tools.
Especially for those of us who still have the Elite Pro and get 20% off. I wonder how that works.
So, is that still a thing? Because I have Elite Pro probably for like the next 3 years, I think.
I think I have it for
Elite
2 more
Pro,
years.
I thought the Elite Pro was getting...
It got
axed. Got completely just demolished, right?
No, yeah, they axed it. But if you still have it, it's still in the system where it's still honoring.
Yeah, they'll probably still on. I'd imagine.
How does my Pro Day savings go into account with my Elite Pro membership?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know
if the fact that I paid an extra $15 more for said membership was to get extra incentives and savings on Pro Day.
Yeah.
And now you're saying because there is no Elite Pro, we're all just Pro. Where did that?
We're all
pro,
then who's pro?
Well, no, Elite Pro is still being honored. So because I have it for like
they'll still throw me the 20% on there. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know how it is. That's what I'm saying though. I don't know how it is with this new Pro system that's went into beta.
Yeah, but then it's in account. Yeah, Pro Day, the new Pro system that's in beta, all these things.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I know
it fudges it up even more.
Yeah. Because I know Elite Pros, they're still honoring it. You're still getting the 20% off or the 20% boost in trade and all
until
that.
your Pro runs
until
out.
your Elite Pro runs out.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know with the new Pro system. I don't know if they're taking into account anyone who has a lasting Elite Pro.
What about
I feel like it's not going to.
Right.
What about those weird? Because there was a time and point and place where they made us push Elite Pro so hard that they were basically some of my employees. I did not encourage this at all, but they were getting basically Elite Pros for their moms and their dads and everybody, but for 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. You know, they would just sit there and they would just renew it. They would just stack it on there. You know.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I did.
Yeah, right. And then you find it out, you're like, oh man, okay, for sure. So this is what we're doing. You know, and literally one of my old one of my old employees, his mom has Elite Pro for the next 10 years. I think.
Really?
You know,
I was gonna say, depending on which store you went in, they didn't let you stack it on that long because they saw what was going on. Because when they announced that they would axe it, a lot of people were like, "Oh shoot, I'm gonna renew it all at once."
Right.
And so the store I went into, they were just like, "Oh, we're gonna do at max 2 years."
Do they put a limit on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there were some that before this limit was instituted because they had that first Pro Day where it was we need you guys to push this.
We need
hard.
This. Yeah.
You know, so we were like, okay, we're gonna push this hard then.
Yeah.
You know, and we did, and it was now what are you gonna say to these people that are Elite Pro quote
for 10 years?
For 10 years, you know, because that's one example. I'm sure across the nation. There must be tons of different people that have that same kind of deal where it's why did I spend that money if you're not going to honor your savings or your
so
thing,
that's what I'm saying. I wonder how they're going to go about that because
they have to. I couldn't imagine them.
But then
not
let's say if they do honor it, right, and they should, you got 20% off pre-owned games. Do you get that $5 reward every month too?
Probably get that too. I would imagine you'd get everything
because
it's such a small subset of.
Where they think
the customer base that they
figure
we're going to eat that cost because we're banking on the amount of new signups from the $5 edition will cover that, and they don't really have any choice because to completely renege on Elite Pro members who paid all that money to stack years up, you imagine swiping something from underneath them. Yeah, there's no way they would do that, and it's probably such a small percentage of their base, anyways.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Just eat the cost, I think, which is probably one of the reasons why they're going out of business. So
yeah, right. No, yes, it's that's another one of those, stop the bleeding moments.
Rumored to be going.
Out.
Not quite yet, but. That's
rough.
That's
GameStop's
latest news for y'all.
Right. That's where we stand as of now.
Okay, then let's go straight into E3.
I was about to say we're in a fun part of the year that I forget about. Now that I've been so removed from being in the GameStop the way of things because everything's kind of yearly cycled. You know?
It is. Yeah.
I'm like, oh snap! It's E3.
It's E3 time, man.
I'm stoked for E3. Actually,
it's that time of year again. This is exciting. You can feel it. You can see all the new trailers. All the publishers, well, the ones who are left going to E3 are getting their things ready.
So I remember one of my fondest memories of because we used to watch me and myself as cash rep. We'd be working during E3.
Yeah,
literally. So we would be watching it on the. Good note for the old days. We used to watch it on the store tablet. We'd post it up.
We'd have it posted up.
We'd have it posted up in the two registers so we could watch, while we worked.
Watch the new reveals. And...
One of my favorite moments was I was a GA and he was my assistant manager and we were basically he was doing the cash run
Yeah, that's right. To the bank. Yeah,
run to the bank. You know. And then we were watching. It was the first year the PlayStation 4 was out with the Xbox One, and it was the trailer, right? And we were watching it, and I was thinking like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, and we see it, right? And this dude pops out. He's got a shotgun. A werewolf pops out, and then Cash Wrap busts through the door with his phone. He's watching on his phone. He's like, "This is the Order 1886." You know? He's like, "Are you seeing this right now?" And I was just like, "Oh damn!" You know, it's like, yeah. And I remember that trailer was so cool. We were all so stoked for that game because that E3. So cool. You know, we were like, "Oh man, we're gonna start getting some games."
Yeah,
you know?
This is when they, and that was, you're right. I think that was 1 year. Was it the year after?
It was the year after they released it. So we had like a full year of.
You had 1 full year of games, and that first year was so tough because nothing came out. No, it was just ports. It was half-ass games. So that E3
that was the year where they started rolling out their games.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome. Oh man.
All right.
What about you, Tradehold? What are your favorite E3 memories?
Oh, dude. Let's see. So my first E3 was actually 2006 when they reviewed Versus 13.
Ooh.
Like Final Fantasy Versus 13, and that was going to be like my game. They showed so much of that game that I'm like, I want all of this. I've been wanting all of this in an RPG.
Yeah.
And although Versus 13 has changed into 15 and a lot of changes happened with it, I still love the game. Would have loved it more as Versus 13, but I still love 15. But that was one. But probably the best memory I have was 2015, which you guys are probably familiar with it. This actually went while I was working at GameStop. This was when they reviewed, two big games. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember that reaction. Have you guys seen the game trailer's reaction?
Yeah.
That was our reaction, because what had happened was, I remember they showed off Last Guardian. We're like, oh, dude, awesome. We finally getting news on Last Guardian.
Right.
And then they showed Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it was one of those moments where it was like, this is Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're doing it.
Yeah.
And our group was just going nuts, and I was just like, hey, calm down. Like, we're the place that we're at right now. We're not supposed to all be here at the moment, so we gotta quiet down a bit.
Yeah.
And then they showed Shenmue 3, and we're like, "Oh, we're done.
Yeah,
There's no more cap. I can't keep this under control anymore." I'm like, we're all way too excited, and I remember I was just like, "I bet you anything, this is gonna break a new record." Because if you're not familiar with Shenmue, the first game was a Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
For the most production cost in a video game before GTA 5 or was it 4 that took over?
5, yeah.
The cost to make the game was a record.
And so I said, guaranteed they're going to get a new Guinness World Record for the fastest to break 1 million for video games. And they did. They got 2 awards.
For sales, huh?
Yeah. They got 2 Guinness World Records for it. And it was, I think, the fastest to break 1 million for Kickstarter, and there was something else.
I definitely know they broke Kickstarter records.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
I was on it real quick.
See, that's what's so amazing about the game too. Is just like it got kickstarted up all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a way to start a AAA game, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because the original Shenmue was on Dreamcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was it.
Actually, well, technically they no. It was on Dreamcast. They had started working on it during the Sega Saturn.
Oh, okay.
And then it transitioned into the Dreamcast.
I remember I was one of the few people that had the Dreamcast, and I was standing by Dreamcast hard. You know, I remember Shenmue was one of those games. I'm like, yeah, you know?
Dude, yeah, dude. It is one of my top favorite games. Like after Chrono Trigger, I would actually say it stands up there with Chrono Trigger. I would say I love Chrono Trigger.
The first one?
Shenmue?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 and 2.
Okay. 1 and 2.
What
about
the
3?
Series? Well, 3 is coming out in like 3 months.
Yeah, it's
so
almost
2 months.
It's true.
Is it 2 months? No, it comes out in August.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I need to pick up that 1 and 2 collection.
Huh?
I need to pick up that 1 and 2 collection.
Oh, I have a few of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I have I think 2 PS4 standard copies. I have the collector's edition from Pix and Love, and I have the Japanese collector's edition too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and then I pledged the $500 tier for Shenmue 3, so I can't wait for that to come.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So, what about you, Cash Wrap? What were your releases?
Big E3 memories?
Yeah, big E3 memories, man.
You know, I love going through and seeing like all the embarrassing E3 moments, like on YouTube, like looking through all those, which is actually kind of a sad point to think about, because this is the first E3. We're not going to have some like, known personalities at E3. Like Reggie's not going to be there.
I was about to say, yes, our first E3 without Reggie. Oh man.
Yeah, first E3 without Reggie. First E3 without the Sony
without
guy,
Sony,
Mr. Ridge Racer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's not going to be there.
What's next? You telling me Sergeant Nelson isn't going to be there?
Yeah, well, yeah. So I don't know. I think my top memory was the year that the current gen came out, because that was the first year that I went to E3, and I actually went as part of the store. Me and the manager of that store went, and we had got a chance to go to the Microsoft presser. So when they revealed the Xbox One, completely like just revealed the whole thing and just talked about the whole thing, and then watching the presser from the hotel room for Sony's reveal of their new system. I just remember getting on the phone with my manager. We both called at the same time, and then we figured, well, we can't call the same store because one of us is going to get put on hold. So luckily I got in first, I think, and I can't remember who was working that day. I don't think it was you, Distro.
I don't think so.
No, someone, I can't remember who was working that day, but I had them cancel, I think, probably 6 or 7 pre-orders that I had on my account to put a deposit on the Xbox One. It was literally like 20 minutes after the presser ended.
Wow.
And I called from the Uber on the way to the show floor to have that system pre-ordered. And then manager did the exact same thing. I think he might have canceled somewhere like 9 or 10 pre-orders on his account to pre-order the Xbox One.
Yeah, as you all know, us store leaders have a shit ton of pre-orders.
Store leaders
just to kind of
and by the way,
fluff.
He canceled 9 or 10, and that was barely maybe a quarter of what he had pre-ordered on his account. Yeah, right? So, for him, it was just basically moving money in his account around. So, whereas I think I canceled every single thing I had pre-ordered with the store to make sure that I could pre-order that remotely.
Yeah, right.
And then we went to the show floor, and we got an opportunity to go and have like a personalized tour through a retail setup of what Microsoft wanted the Xbox to be displayed as, which was really cool.
Nice.
We got to see like what their floor models are going to look like, what their
I was there at that one.
You were there for that one? Yeah, I think you were there because we met up at some
point.
No, actually.
We didn't.
Didn't we meet up?
This I think, was this the same year or the year after? This might have been 2016. Oh no.
Because I did meet up with you, I think I know I met up with you the second year I went. But I thought we met up the first year too.
Because I remember I tried to meet up. Didn't happen.
Oh, we couldn't make it work, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that first year...
Was that the same year that I had that autograph, met Hideo Kojima?
Yes, I think that was that year. And I think that's when we were going to meet up because I wanted to get his autograph with you.
Yeah.
But...
you guys were somewhere else, I think.
Yeah, no, that first year was tough because we were there for the company.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of like company mandated things that they had us go to. Whereas the second year that I went, it was just on my own. So then that's when we were able to meet up easily and then just do whatever we wanted to do. So yeah, that first year was definitely memorable. And then probably pretty closely behind that is watching Bethesda's first presser. What was that, like last year or the year before?
Oh, nice.
I think actually the year before.
That was
a big deal. They had a big old countdown and everything.
And the big theme park that they made a map of, and that was so cool.
Yeah, Bethesda's been coming out with some fire like press conferences,
Yeah, and they're doing another one this year, right?
Yeah,
they're not one of the ones.
They actually were on fire until Fallout 76 came out.
Yeah, no, they'll say no.
Then they were on a different kind of fire.
They're taking a little heat right now, but I'll say.
By the way, if I was still working at GameStop, I think I probably would be selling Fallout 76 the same way I sold
Alien Colonial Marines. I was gonna say
I bought 2 copies of that game, so. So yeah, Fallout 76 was kind of a disappointment, but
I heard they're doing better.
Yeah, they
but they have a few bad moves, like banning that guy that Was, well, I don't remember exactly what happened with him, but the system thought he was cheating.
Yeah, the system thought he was cheating when for real he's just a really big fan. And
yeah,
put a lot of
just
time
played
into
a lot of
game.
time,
and that's how you treat your diehard fans. You ban them.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, you take them away.
And I remember when I was reading that it had been a few days already, and they didn't even resolve it yet. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that right now.
But anyway, they're back at E3, which is exciting. Yeah. I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more of their next gen, if they're,
So maybe some Elder Scrolls 6,
Elder Scrolls 6 or that Starfield? What's the name of their game?
Star Citizen? No, that's not.
Oh, it's
that
new IP they're doing, right?
Yeah, the new IP.
I know what you're talking about.
Starlink? No, that's not them either.
I think it's called...
It might be Starfield.
Star something. It might be Starfield. Yeah.
Starfield.
I'm going to look that up, actually. I've been dying to see more of that game since they announced it. I think they announced it in their first presser, a couple years ago, but it was just really the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed that really, really short teaser of just like a planet and then in space.
I think it had
the
ship flying,
and then the title again. And then I think the latest rumor was that it's probably going to be it's probably going to go to next gen.
Okay, right.
Which would be freaking amazing, actually. But Starfield is what it's called.
Starfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
probably see something on that.
We're another year into that development, so I'm hoping they show something on it. They're promising basically what they're known for, but in space. So
yeah, right. Yeah, that should be cool.
All right. Well, let's talk about anticipation for E3. What would like to see at E3? I'm going to start because the game that I'm going to talk about is probably not going to be as discussed as the later games we're going to talk about. Because I already know one game that we're definitely going to talk about. But I'm going to mention Darksiders, which is the rumor that they will show up. And
that's a big one.
Darksiders 3 now, right?
No. 3 just came out.
3 just came out.
3 was the revival. Right? Yeah. So it might be 4, it might be called Genesis. That's the the rumors are going on, but it seems like definitely Darksiders will be talked about. And it's funny because only months. This is back when Darksiders 3 released. Not reviewed, but back when it released, I was talking to another friend on Twitter about how I can see this being like a 6-part game, even 5 to 6 games. And now, assuming, and this is why. So you have the first game with War, the second with Death, third one now is Fury, and of course everyone thinks, oh, next one's Strife, which makes sense, but then it won't end at Strife because that's just usually the pattern that they're having is where these guys are all at while parallel to each other. So if Strife, they do a game with Strife, it's just what he was doing while all the other events are going on. But they have to have a 5th game with all of them together.
4-player co-op?
Well, maybe.
It's just Castle Crashers.
Well,
that's exactly. Side scroller.
And then
8-bit side scroller.
And then I was talking to my friend on Twitter, and I was like, "Well, you know what? They definitely have potential for a prequel game because Darksiders 2 talks a lot about what happened about hunting the Nephilim and all that,
right?
Which is the beginning of the game, so that's not a spoiler.
Right.
And so when the rumor came out that it was Darksiders Genesis, and they said they were going a different direction, which shouldn't be a surprise because they all go a different direction.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, that was what I was talking about because this is what they can do with Darksiders, like a prequel. The events leading up to the hunt for the Nephilim, and then they have, because there's still a lot of stuff going on in between before war gets. Before war is summoned and inadvertently, starts the apocalypse.
Yeah.
They have a lot of side missions that can happen, a lot of story expansions that can happen. It can be like a Gauntlet 4-player type game, MMO.
Okay, I can see that.
Interesting.
So
that could be interesting.
Yeah.
That could be interesting, for sure.
An MMO in that world, huh?
What's weird is we're not in the era of like PSP or like the Vita's still kicking, but it's not like we can have like 2 side Darksiders on Vita or something.
Yeah, like a side game or something.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's usually what happens. But I can see that like a prequel game and then like one that kind of involves like all their lore together,
Yeah.
So where you can utilize all of them.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty badass.
I mean there's multiple ways I can think about that last game and that you can either be 4-player co-op or it could just be one single player where you can like seamlessly swap between them. And even I can see that being a thing too because of how puzzle oriented Darksiders tends to be. So considering that they all have different abilities, you might have puzzles where you have to switch so that you can continue the puzzle like mid puzzle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that. But that's what I was saying though. They're saying it also could be Darksiders 4.
Just the fourth one.
Just the fourth one. So it could just be the Strife one. But
I mean, that'd be cool. Who's Darksiders owned by?
Well, they were
Deep
THQ.
Silver,
They were. They are now THQ Nordic.
Oh, Nordic. That's
Nordic.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like I thought THQ went down.
Yeah, THQ did go down. They were Vigil Games. Owned by THQ. Now they're THQ Nordic, who is the ones who bought the IP.
Bought the IP.
Yeah, they bought the
when
IP.
They had
and
the sale.
They're actually they are actually purchasing a lot of companies. I don't know if you guys have been checking.
Yeah, I've seen their name pop up more than a couple times.
Yeah.
Very interesting. They're looking to be pretty big players. It seems like
they picked up that company that did it's like Kingdom Come Deliverance, I think that was called.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so they picked up that company too.
Interesting.
That was one of the later news, and it's like, dang man, where did you guys get all this money?
Yeah, seriously. Where did
all
this
these
come
properties
from?
real quick?
Gonna be the next Bethesda or something. I don't know.
Really. I mean, really.
Hey, Bethesda played their cards right with picking up those IPs, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like Brink.
Yeah. like Brink, you know? Hey, well, leave Brink alone.
I did like that game. I did too. I think I sold a couple of people in that game.
I sold a few people in that game too.
that
That was one of the games where I actually thought it would do better than it actually did.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm pretty good at gauging games and how well they will go, how well they'll go about, and that was one of my missteps.
Yeah. See, we all have them.
Yeah, we all have them. It's true.
What about you, Distro? What's your hotly anticipated E3 showings this year?
I got a few of them, actually. You know, like I'd say I'm really interested to see what CD Projekt Red has going on with
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, because I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I want to build my own PC, you know, but by that point, that's one of those games that I want to see like how it performs, like where it runs, you know.
Oh yeah,
and especially with CD Projekt Red too, I can appreciate like I hear that there's a little bit of like turmoil like amongst their staff,
like the actual company itself. Yeah,
but I can appreciate how they go about their business with their like fans and stuff. You know? Like they do a really good job, like making you feel connected.
Yeah,
and, like, even showing you that there's a passion for the games being made.
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm really excited to see like what that game's gonna even entail, because all we saw was that trailer. And, like, is the fact that it's going to be, like, all super, like, graphic, you know, like, going to look amazing. Lots of colors. Yeah. But I want to see some gameplay, hopefully, this year, you know. I want to see a little bit more of, like, what the actual, you know.
Well, I was going to say they already showed gameplay.
Yeah, no, they did, but, like, more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see, like,
an
the
actual,
full, like,
walk
showing,
me through
you know?
a level or something like
let me
that.
get, like, the actual E3 showing.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm probably not going to see it. But, you know, like, I can only hope is Metroid. You know, the new Metroid coming out.
There's rumors they might make that.
There's rumors, you know.
But rumors are rumors.
But knowing Nintendo, you know, like, I would just be happy with, like, maybe seeing, like, a suit or seeing, like, the new planet they're going to be on, or, like, seeing just something,
well,
you know?
I would say it's a good time for Nintendo to actually hit it hard. It's a good time for Microsoft to hit it hard, because Sony's not going to be there.
Nintendo's not either, so Microsoft owns this year. I mean, they're going to be bringing out everything, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Microsoft
Nintendo has Directs too.
Yeah, and that sounds like what Sony's going to be doing as well. They've got a whole
State of Play.
State of Play, I think. Is that what it's called? Yeah, and they've already started. Just like Nintendo starts Directs early. You know, they've kind of already revealed a few things.
And speaking of State of Play,
this is,
with the certain company taking over Sony's stage, I'm surprised no one has mentioned Final Fantasy VII Remake.
No, of course, you know, I can bring that one up too, you know what I mean? But I feel like I could say I always put that one on the pedestal. I set it aside. I put it in the glass case, you know, because we all know, that one's, you know, like even the gameplay's looking pretty sweet. You know?
Gameplay is.
So that's why, like, I'm glad that they're taking their time and cooking it.
Yeah,
you know, that they're taking the time and really making it happen.
So if that would be Square Enix's showing,
they're gonna have more.
Yeah,
because they're taking over a stage. Sony's stage was big.
Well, I tell you, one of my anticipated ones is I want to see what Square Enix does with that Avengers game.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a really big show.
Yeah, they definitely said that they would talk about that.
In fact, I don't know. Do you guys think that would be a showpiece for them?
Oh, I will.
Like
they've already confirmed that they're going to talk about it on E3.
Yeah,
they're going to show it at E3. Finally, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah. And I think it's already been leaked and taken off that it's going to be 4-player co-op too.
Oh, really?
I think
I had thought it might be like a almost Ultimate Alliance type game.
No,
but they just revealed Ultimate Alliance 3.
I was going to say, they just made
so it's not going to be. Yeah, so it's going to be different. Yeah.
I was reading the other day that there was a retailer that posted basically a full description of what the game is, and then took it off pretty swiftly after that.
Oh, nice.
But
Canada,
a few points in that leaked kind of overview mentioned 4 players and mentioned a completely customizable, roster of characters from the entire like Avengers lineup. So
yeah, right.
I mean, I think this game's gonna be pretty legit.
Yeah, Square Enix is pretty meticulous, but I mean, I think it's mainly Crystal Dynamics that's working on it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I remember hearing rumblings about that game first. Like that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And then like
that trailer they showed too, and then exactly
because it's Square Enix, right?
Yeah.
But then there was I know recently also they trademarked in Europe Collection of Mana, and because the Japanese game released the Seiken Densetsu collection in Japan, and so we've been waiting for it to come over here in the US.
Yeah,
and so with that trademark before E3, hoping for an announcement because we never got Part 3, and I thought that was much better than Part 2, which is, we know as Secret of Mana.
Right, Secret of Mana.
Yeah. But yeah, say 7 remake, definitely. Have you guys heard the rumors?
I do not know what 7 remake.
Yeah, about 7 remake.
What's the
well, first off, I would just have to mention a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. Purists wanted it to be like HD, new models, but turn-based. I think the new system looks just fine. What I'm most curious about is how they're going to implement the materia system. Because if they do it right, that would be so sick.
Well, the materia is still notorious for being like one of the
most customizable systems.
Most customizable systems in a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and I think there was a.
But that was good or bad though, because as a new Final Fantasy player, playing something like 9 with the system that they had there, or even using the job system in one of the from 5. Those were a little bit more easier to get new fans on board with. Yeah. And Materia was notorious for scaring away some of those fans who...
See, Materia was pretty in the middle. The ones that scared fans was the draw and junction system from 8.
Yeah, well, that's true. 8 just took it a little too far.
Yeah.
So.
I actually love that system, but I can see why that would be an issue with a lot of people. Especially because they did not do a great explanation in-game on teaching you that. But I was going to say, the way that they showed off the system, there is a potential that it could... I doubt it will happen, but there's a potential that the option for turn-based and action-based could be in there. Because... It can be free control, like we've seen with like Final Fantasy 15 Kingdom Hearts, or they can also have it where you can switch to auto, like the way that Final Fantasy 13 looks with the auto battles.
Yeah,
then still be turn based. So I still say it's possible they can do that. I don't think they will, but it's a very doable. It's a kind of doable thing. Probably a lot of programming. Yeah. But when it comes to rumors, there's been a leak saying that. They're gonna reveal 7 remake, obviously. They definitely will. But there's gonna be a playable demo there.
Wow.
That's one of the rumors. And then an actual demo, public demo, shortly after E3.
Really? So we'll actually be able to play maybe sometime this summer, huh?
That's one of the rumors going around.
That'd be actually good pull on them because people were just jonesing for it,
Yeah.
And like just giving them a little taste, we'll just keep them on board for that. Little bit longer.
Was there any truth to the talk of it being episodic?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've confirmed it.
So it is.
It's still going to be episodic.
Then, huh?
Yeah. Okay. There's the part of the other rumors that came about from a supposed leak is that the first episode is going to be a lot of Midgar.
Okay.
The other rumors that there's only going to be 2 episodes.
So that's why we're only seeing the Midgar sections is because the other episodes will handle what happens later on in the game. Okay.
But yeah, the other rumors that it's just going to be 2 episodes instead of because a lot of people were thinking like average 3, maybe 3, but it looks like it might be 2.
2 split in 2.
If the rumors are true, if the supposed leak is actually true.
Yeah.
The thing about the leak having any kind of legitimacy is because it happened fairly shortly after the Square Enix had a presentation stream.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like almost minutes afterwards, and it's a long list of things where it's like, oh shoot, I posted this instead of sending it by private message type of thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
I just want to play Gold Saucer, man. That's all I'm looking for.
That's a lot of people talk about Gold Saucer.
That's all I want to do, man. If that's an episode 2, so be it. I'll
Well,
wait. I just wanna play it, man.
There's a
Nice.
one part of the rumors that you're gonna be able to access Goat Saucer in the first part.
Oh, that'd
So
be great.
what you're gonna get there, if you get there before the storyline part, it'll be very few things you can do.
Yeah.
But once it opens up, once you get to it storyline wise, you're gonna have plenty to do at Goat
Yeah.
Saucer.
That's great.
That's when we lost Cash Rep.
That's when you don't have any reason to contact me anymore, because I'll just be playing virtual arcade games all day.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's
Yeah,
talk about the big game that everyone's talking about.
Well, that
For
could have been
E3.
7, but I know what we're talking about.
No, this is going to be bigger than 7.
Things can be bigger than
This
this.
is going to be a generation game, man.
I agree about the impact. I think it'll be a very impactful game, but I don't know if it'll be bigger than 7 remake.
This game is going to be our.
But I understand, and I very much am hyped for the game.
I'd say so.
Trust me, I'm actually more hyped for this game than I am for 7 remake.
To be honest with you, I'm not super hyped for this game.
Mhm.
I'm actually more hyped for Final Fantasy
Oh, are you?
7, just from a personal stake. But I mean, this game's gonna freaking dominate the headlines going forward. I think E3 is gonna solidify it too. I think we're gonna see some stuff that, yeah, we're looking at the next Metal Gear, we're looking at the next Final Fantasy, we're looking at the next BioShock, we're looking at the next whatever it is. If you buy into the hype, that's what we're looking at.
We talking Kojima's?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. You know, yeah.
Yep.
You know it.
Well,
no, I'm talking about the next iteration of.
We're talking Half-Life 3, guys. Half-Life 3 is finally coming.
Bubsy 3D finally, like remake. All right.
I'm talking about the next Crash Team Racing.
Yes. I don't care unless it's Diddy Kong Racing 2, I'll be honest. But, yeah, I can agree there, especially like with that feel that I was getting from that latest trailer, especially with that gameplay. It kind of, what I appreciated about Metal Gear, like especially in 5 when it came out, was the gameplay just feels so clean and smooth, And just that engine and everything that they implemented, I could feel it just translates so well to what they would want to do with Death Stranding. I'm just more curious about how it's all going to interplay together, like story, gameplay, like exploration. Is it more of an exploration type of game, or is it going to be?
It seems like it's very exploration.
Or do you think it's going to be more of like a fetch quest kind of a type of game, or like where it's like I need you to go collect, let's say, this baby hypothetically, or I need you to go collect this item and then bring it back safely to base without being spotted, or is it like?
I mean, it to me, and again, I don't know. I was telling Distro about this earlier. I have zero clue what this game's about. From that trailer. But it looks like it's going to be something of like a it just looks like you're going to be on the run for the majority of it, like it's almost like a survival game, almost like an open world survival.
I just want to say, to be fair, a lot of people have been saying that. I don't have no idea what this game is about. No one has any idea what this game is about.
Does anybody know what this game is?
Other than maybe the development team and Kojima and maybe Jeff Keighley, but
like
Norman
Reedus.
Maybe Norman Reedus and Mike Wilkinson and all that. But
like that was one of my first thoughts after watching the trailer is it just me, or like does this confuse everybody?
It's meant to be, right? It's Kojima.
And that's totally true. But yeah, I mean, from what I picked up on it, it looks like it's going to be some kind of open world survival, and you're constantly going to be on the run from something that's hunting you or hunting what you have, And so from that perspective, I'm getting thoughts of, something as recent as maybe like a Days Gone, or like I don't know, it was another game that was somewhat similar to that. I don't know, but
yeah, so and that's like Dying Light or something like that. Yeah, like what would be cool is like what really interests me is how much area is going to allow us to explore. If it's going to be a little more of like a God of War type where it's open, but it's not necessarily too open,
right?
Or if it's a little more on like the let's say Bethesda style where it's like you have like a ton of land to really go through and explore.
Yeah,
like a Breath of the Wild where it's like you have a lot. You can have like different places you go to.
Right.
It's all seamless.
I wanna say it's gonna be just a little bit above Metal Gear Solid 5, because you can take missions where you can explore a certain amount of area, but you can definitely just go open world on that game.
Yeah,
and it looks like with this one, with some of the equipment tools that they showed off, you can traverse even, more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And crevasses and going through and climbing up ladders and
yeah. I mean, because you can access more points than you would think in Metal Gear Solid 5, but I think this one is even going to be more than that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I can see it being like, especially with this one's going to dominate headlines for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with like person like me who's just been dying for a new IP, something that's going to be immersive and something that's going to be story based still.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm really, really curious to see how it's going to set the tone for like other games coming out.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, I know the launch date was announced with that trailer.
November 8th.
And I believe there's something else coming out that day that this kind of just completely wrecked plans for. I can't remember what it was.
Coming out the day this game is pretty much done, yeah.
There was another game that already kind of solidified that date, a big game that solidified that date as their release.
Is it Call of Duty?
I was going to say, is it Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
I
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I don't think Call of Duty has a date yet.
You're probably right.
Was it something like Last of Us, maybe?
Last of Us 2, they haven't reviewed a date yet.
Okay, so they haven't done... It was something big.
I was about to say, that's a big month then. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's always a big month. November is always a big month.
And so kind of staking claim...
But a Last of Us 2 Death Stranding month? Like,
imagine that.
And what if they did, coming out what if they did the first episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake? That was just... Goodbye your wallet.
Yeah, pretty much. I know. Yeah, that's gonna be the game, man. It's gonna be the dominating.
Personally, so this is my opinion of it. I'll have to say, before they showed off the last trailer, I had almost no hype for the game because I didn't know I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Like they didn't really show anything. Not to say that it looked bad. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's a walking simulator." I'm like, no, they showed off some stealth and stuff.
Yeah.
But just not showing off everything.
Mm-hmm.
But because I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And then they showed off the trailer. I'm like, okay, now I'm hyped for the game.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered the collector's edition, like you guys know already.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that collector's edition is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
you get a BB.
Yeah. So
a BB pod.
You get a little baby pod, and you get like a briefcase, the steel book,
baby.
you get
the case.
Yeah, the case. You get the keychain. You get a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But
the bridge baby.
Yeah, right. The only thing I can appreciate with Kojima is the fact that it's all planned out.
Yeah.
This guy has like a master plan, as usual.
But in my opinion, I think the game is going to get an overall score from cumulatively, or however you want to call it. I think it's going to get an 8 out of 10.
I think so, yeah. Just on hype, I think it'll get an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
because it might be a little too early for me to tell. I need to see
this is just
more.
a speculation, obviously. There's nothing to solidify this, but...
I think this game has the potential to get perfect.
Oh, I do too.
It definitely does.
And I think, for me, my personal experience, I probably would give it, my guess is probably 9 to even 10 out of 10, possibly.
Yeah.
But I think overall, from other critics and new players and stuff, it's probably going to get an 8 out of 10 average. Because there's going to be obviously a lot of people who will love the game.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of biased people too.
Gosh,
but I think
so
it's going to be.
That's so hard to predict.
But this is why though. Then just explaining my reasoning. I think there's going to be some people who would be too focused on a plot twist as opposed to the overarching plot, and they go, "Oh, that twist sucks," and then they just down the score, right? And it's a dumb reason, but it happens. And I think another one is there's going to be a lot. Like with Metal Gear, you're drawing in a lot of pre-existing fans, and so any new people that are around Metal Gear, like they saw Metal Gear Solid 5, there's very few amount of people who will get into it because they're like, oh, I should play the first 4.
Yeah.
With Death Stranding, this is completely new. It's opened up to a whole new crowd of people who are not familiar with Kojima, and now this game is getting so hyped. And they were just like, oh, you know what? I've never played a Kojima game. Let me get into it. They maybe might not understand the story, possibly, or they might be disappointed with the story. Like, this is a lot of stuff I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, I expect great things. And it's just like, oh, I don't know what happened. I think this happened, which is stupid.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
But I still think that there's going to be strong scores with the game being, 9 or 10 out of 10. But that's why I think the average will still come out to 8.
That's true. Plus, to be fair, too, is like Kojima's storytelling is really good, but he has to stack up with like a God of War that just came out, where the story was just amazing.
Yeah.
And then even with like Last of Us, Naughty Dog's storytelling is always like really good.
Yeah.
So like, I can easily see what you're saying, where like that one plot twist or that one weird one device that he uses, people are like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, boo.
Yeah. Right.
And sometimes it's not completely obvious.
Yeah, and it's not, and it could be like you said, everything with Kojima is planned. So like, it could be something that he's just setting up for like something else, but not a lot of people are picking it up because they're invested on just I want it all right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know?
and I already know there's gonna be this happens every game, but I already know there's gonna be people who are just gonna find out the plot twist before the game releases.
Oh yeah.
And then they're gonna write a review and say, "Oh, this is what the game's about. It sucks."
Yeah, right.
3 out of 10. Like I already expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that being said, I'm stoked for it though.
oh, me too.
Yeah,
I'm more hyped for it.
yeah.
Much more hyped for it from the last
It's
trailer.
definitely one of my top games this year.
Yeah, it's a game I can see myself spending time on actually playing. You know.
Yeah, and just watching and enjoying and getting into the weirdness of it all is going to be fun.
See, it feels like a world I'm interested in just exploring.
Yeah,
that's good. Being
really.
kind of like sucked in, you know,
figuring out what makes this world tick for sure. And it did effectively sink Silent Hills, or at least this is the game in the wake of Silent Hills cancellation. So
yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
There's a personal stake in it for me, as you guys know. Silent Hill being one of my favorite franchises.
Oh yeah,
same.
Same. I love Silent Hill. It's have you guys heard that the speculation about how this game is actually a setup to Silent Hills?
That would be so great.
There's a lot of, we'll talk about it another time if we ever talk about it, but there's a lot of speculation about how Kojima is still part of Konami.
Exactly. It was all big. I know. I've read some things about that. That
it was all just a big
secretly
thing,
this could be a Konami play to kind of set something up. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will. I don't believe it. Yeah. It could be true. I could definitely be wrong, but I don't believe
that's
it.
That's Konami trying to shovel their way back into relevance.
Right. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was there some? I feel like there's. Oh yeah. Just to say it, I'm actually surprised we also did not mention when we talked about it, but there seems to be no hype. Last of Us 2. We just kind of skimmed over.
So the thing about Last of Us 2 is I think we're already expecting what we were expecting from Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Good storytelling, good graphics, good gameplay.
Last of Us 2.
I'm a little less interested in Last of Us 2 than I was of Last of Us 1.
Yeah, it's like I'm excited, but I'm not as like intrigued. I would say as I would be. Towards
I agree. That's
I think for me it's just the time. It's been a long time since Last of Us has been part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, right.
But I mean, it's funny because you talk to somebody about Last of Us and it's immediately already understood that game's a masterpiece. It is. And so anything in a sequel is automatically going to kind of come in under the guise of being another masterpiece.
Yes, no, exactly.
So I mean, for me, it's a guaranteed buy. It always will be. I will always take a chance on what Naughty Dog does, just because they've built that sort of reputation already, and they haven't really kept Last of Us 2 a secret, anyways. We've seen a lot of that game and heard a lot about it already. So I mean, it's going to be at the show. Well, not at the show itself. It's going to be in Sony's presentations that they do throughout the week, and yeah, it'll be exciting to see, but. It just doesn't have that air of mystery that a lot of these other things have, like the Avengers project, like Death Stranding, like Final Fantasy, like the Jedi game coming out from EA.
The new one,
I don't know. It's a known entity, and I think because of that, it probably is going to get shortchanged a little bit in the news cycles. But that's not to say it's going to be an underhyped game, because
when it comes out, there's gonna be it's gonna sell for sure.
Yeah.
I
would just say that I'm not intrigued so far, only because the plot doesn't draw me in.
Yeah.
The gameplay looks great.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people will say that it looks like it's more of the same and then more like improved things, but I think they improved on a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the gameplay looks really good, but I'm not seeing anything in the story that's really drawing me into it.
Yeah.
I know it's some kind of revenge-related story, and I'm just speculation that Joel's already dead. It's like it's all in her mind, or Joel's not dead yet, but
Joel's in the trailer, isn't he? He's in the very first trailer they showed.
Yeah, but they're saying that one of the things they're saying is that that's in her mind.
That's like her flashback.
Because not a flashback, but it's like he's there with her, but not physically. She's projecting him.
PTSD kind of
vision. Like she's projecting him because he's like her father figure, and while she's on this revenge mission, he's like there with her, but she's not actually there with her.
Yeah.
You see, playing that game, they did leave a lot of good pieces open. A lot of good little strands and stuff like that.
Such a great opening to a new world and a new, batch of
I mean, if they review a collector's edition, I probably will pick it up.
Yeah.
But if they don't, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I'm like 95% sure they're gonna have a collector's edition. But if they don't, I would probably wait on it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Last of Us 2, I'm pretty stoked for that one too.
Totally.
As well, rather.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is that all we have to say about E3?
I think
for
so.
this year?
We'll see you all at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what we feel
after the show. We'll do a post show.
My first time after a few years where I haven't been to E3.
Yeah.
But honestly, I stopped caring to go to E3 2 years ago.
Really? Well, you're not the only one who's not going to be at the show because Sony, Nintendo, all these others aren't going to be there either.
I was just going to say that the reason why I stopped caring to go because it's kind of gone downhill to me. It's kind of gone downhill. I went the year before last year to get stuff signed as Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
And then last year I went because I had a friend from East Coast who was in California for the first time and going to E3 for the first time.
Yeah.
And so this year it's just like, okay, well, that's it.
Would you say it went downhill when they opened it up to the public?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Was that the beginning of it?
Although, I think that was last year, right? The first time they did that was last year.
I think so.
I do think that's part of the reason. Because it's not because they let so many people in or anything like that. It's more that it seems like they need money type of thing. Like they're more catering towards money. And that's fine and all. But now there's not as much swag. And there's also, it's way super difficult to get back in now. Like they're making it so hard to get back in as an industry.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is not worth the trouble. E3 was cool when we were younger. Now it's just kind of, you know, so many other shows going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first year that some of these big publishers aren't going to be there. So this is going to be a really interesting year. I mean,
big year for Microsoft.
Big year for Microsoft, but
14 new studios. Right?
But how things go this year with such a little, such a change in the presence of who's going to be there could change the show going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how.
So what will make sure that Sony and Nintendo come back is if Microsoft just starts shooting out fire. Like their exclusives,
literally
like some
flamethrowers,
like
flamethrowers,
like some legit exclusives. Because
they have to do some exclusives because even if Microsoft, I mean, like that alone wouldn't do much because I feel like PlayStation experience can really explode. The first time I went last year, it was so much bigger than I thought it would be. Like I think I lined up 3 hours early, and it still took me 15 minutes after the door opened to get in.
Oh man,
15 minutes to get in, and then I was in the PlayStation Store line because I wanted to see how much the Death Stranding necklace was, which was like $350, which I couldn't afford at the time. I was like, I want to support you, Hideo Kojima, but no, I can't do that. But when I was in line for that. It was 40 minutes after it opened, and one person that I was talking to was like, I'm in line, I'm still in line. Like, he got there when it opened, but he waited in line. And 40 minutes later, he's still in line. Like, it's huge. Like, it's much bigger than you think it would be. So, I feel like even if Microsoft does really well with this one, if PlayStation experience grows even bigger, that's not going to impact them. But Nintendo, let's see. Nintendo Direct's been doing really well.
Yeah, Nintendo, ever since they switched to their Direct, form of delivering content, they've been doing really well. And I don't doubt Sony will find the same level of success. But I'm really interested to see how Microsoft takes advantage of being the only one at the show. And I mean, they've done really well in past years of being all about games, all about the experience. I think Phil Spector has done a really good job of what it means to be an Xbox player. But can they own the entire show is the question.
They can, because next-gen Xbox.
Yeah. Is that going to be shown?
I think they've more or less confirmed that they will talk about next-gen specs at least.
Yeah, right? Probably at the end.
Yeah, maybe at the very
end. And then
end.
that's early because I believe it's because Sony will likely. Sony has already talked about the PS5.
Yeah,
and you're probably gonna see it at PSX, but that's gonna be after.
That'll
E3.
be a little later. Yeah. So they'll be first out the door.
Yep. And the first is bigger impact than you would think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how the 360 totally dominated PS3 was they came out a bit earlier.
Yeah.
and a lot cheaper.
And that
and a lot cheaper.
That little bit of time can mean so much of a difference.
Oh, we gotta talk about some like more of these generation things and
we'll have
why certain systems have done much better and all that.
Yeah, we'll have another bonus episode.
Another bonus episode.
Bonus round.
This one is going on for a bit already.
Yeah, this one the E3 episode for everybody.
Yeah,
right, for real though.
So for those of us who are going to the show, have a good time.
Enjoy.
We'll see you on TV, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see you in some of the streams.
We'll watch you on
maybe.
G4, you know?
For those of us not going to the show... G4 TV. For those of us not going to the show, we're going to be watching it right there with you.
Yep.
And then, once this whole thing is over with, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's debrief.
And then, if Hideo Kojima's there, I hope you guys get to meet him. Hey, if Tetsuya... Oh, no. You'll probably... Even if he's there, you probably won't meet him. He is... Oh, man. Anyways, all right. Thanks. We got to close staff now.
Yep. Closing shop up.
Yeah.
Close shop, yeah. Enough overtime.
This is it for the overtime. I think we bankrupted the company from our overtime.
Yeah, I think we didn't get to clock out, so we probably will be in trouble for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
All right, bye.